Hey everyone, I'm fucking what?
Oh, I didn't know I was unmuted. Sorry.
Hey everyone, I'm Jaden. Oh my god,
Oh, was I unmuted again? Oh, I'm
fucking
sorry. I
twice in a
hit the
row.
space bar
Fucking
and it doesn't mute me.
Christ.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Jaden.
Do it again. That one was stupid.
I'm
You were
gonna,
waiting for me to do it as a joke.
I'm gonna kill you. Oh my god. I'm keeping all this in. Hey everyone, I'm Jaden.
And I'm Noah.
And we are the Super Gamer Bros, and this is the Super Gamer Bros podcast. We're just a couple of brothers who love playing games and love talking about games, so that's what we do. So today, Noah, we are talking about Taz Wanted.
They can't say that we play unknown or we don't talk about unknown games on our podcast, right? Because who in the world? I've never heard of anybody else who has ever played Taz Wanted.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, you know, this episode for all the Looney Tunes fans in our audience. Obviously one of the more popular Looney Tunes characters, Tasmanian Devil. This is a game all about him, and I was thinking, to all of the people who have not played this game and have never heard of this game but are still listening to this episode, hey, thanks for listening, guys. And to the one person out there that has played this game and you're like, oh my god, they're talking about Taz Wanted, I love that game. Hey, thanks for having played the game.
I mean, it's a fantastic game. It's easily in
Yeah.
my top 10 PS2 games.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Campbell even knows what this is?
I think he's seen us play it because I've played it like two or three times throughout my life.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so this very much one of the games of our childhood. I can't tell you how we got it, just we had it. I can't even remember there being a moment where like either of our parents are like, "Hey, we got you this game" or anything like that. It's just a game we had that I can remember us playing. You know?
That's true. I also can't imagine us like picking it out somewhere, like at back in the day, we would rent games at Blockbuster. So it was basically like our game library at one point. And I really can't imagine us ever picking up Taz Wanted off the shelf.
No, I mean, we own this game. I know we never rented it, but yeah, I mean, it's a great game. This was honestly one that I never thought we would talk about just because, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003, I thought would be fine because it's Ninja Turtles. Grim Fandango, I feel like, was probably our most niche game before this one. And, like, this one, I was so like, man, I don't know if we'll talk about that because I don't know anyone that, has ever played it would know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. But I do think it's also important to talk about games, that are old, just because it didn't come out this year doesn't mean it's a dead game. You know, you can still play all the games we've talked about to this day.
No, that
Um,
is that is correct. Yeah.
right.
Um.
And if you really wanted to, you could play this game.
Oh yeah, just go on eBay. I mean, I do that a lot. Go on eBay to get old games from our childhood or that I want to play again. No, but Taz Wanted. Yeah, I don't know what to say. If you like Tasmanian Devil, like Looney Tunes, like we did, then you would probably just enjoy this game for the novelty of playing as Taz.
Right. I mean, as a Looney Tune fan, you might be put off by the fact that this game completely centers on Taz and doesn't really feature that many other Looney Tunes characters. But the ones it does feature are great. They're lovable characters that you see often in Looney Tunes. And the story doesn't feel, I mean, story, use the term loosely. The game, the levels, the plot doesn't feel like it has lost anything without having characters like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, no, it works really well. It's its own little story, and yeah, I got nothing else I could think to say about this game, so we'll go ahead and get into it with the setting. So the game takes place in three separate hub worlds. with 3 levels in each world. And then there is a last world level combo, like it's just one level, but it also is kind of like its own world. So your first hub area is Yosemite Zoo. Levels in that, we'll go ahead. So I have here, Noah, I have the name of the level and then it's kind of theme in parentheses, because in the story, all the levels are just referenced by their themes. So that's why I put both of them here.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Those are the names of the levels, right?
Yeah.
I like that they had cute names.
Yeah. So first you have in the zoo, you have Zoonie Tunes, which is a safari themed level as it's described in this plot description. I had never thought of it that way. It's more just like
I
a
did
zoo
think of it that
level.
way.
To me, it's just like a
I thought it was
standard zoo.
Safari Zoo themed. It's pretty much same
Yeah.
thing, like jungle-ish.
Yeah. And then there's Iceberg, which is like a winter ski resort kind of level. Looney Lagoon, which is a beach, and that's the first world.
Right. So when you're in these hub worlds, it's you can pick any of the levels in any order you can do them, but you just have to complete all of them before you move on to the next hub world.
That is correct.
And right. Do you want to like read through them all and then talk about them, or do you want to talk about them as we go through them?
Talk about the levels.
You don't want to talk about the levels?
I feel like let's do
Just
that in
like
the
the maps
gameplay.
we liked. Okay, that's fair, I guess.
That's well, I think we'll wait to game because I just want to zoom through the setting here and then do the story because I do kind of explain a bit more detail of how the game works in the gameplay, obviously.
Yeah.
So then after you beat Hub World 1, you unlock Hub World 2, Sam Francisco. Sam Francisco.
What are you pausing for?
Your laughter. Because it's like San Francisco, but it's Sam Francisco.
Right.
Because it's anyway.
Best music though.
Great music, yeah. So then in San Francisco, you have the Bank of Samerica. Which is just it's a construction site, like it's not actually a bank. Then you have the Samsonian Museum. There's a museum. And then Looningdale's, which is a shopping mall. This one is the most memorable for me. Like these 3 levels, I think are the most memorable for me.
I mean, when I think about all the levels individually, I like them.
I mean, you're
I
correct.
do
I'm
have
just
a
saying,
favorite
like,
in every area though.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, this world, I don't
San
know why it
Francisco
is
the best hub world.
Yeah, it very much sticks in my head. Then you get to Hub World 3, Wild E West, which is a Wild West theme. Levels Granny Canyon, which is a canyon town. Taz Haunted, which is a haunted house theme park kind of level. And then there is the Cartoon Strip Mine, which is a strip mine. That's it. After the third world, you get the final world / level, the Tazland Amazement Park. And that's the game. It's a very classic 3D collectathon kind of platformer setup. Like if you look at,
but it really
like,
centers on the destruction of the environment also.
Well, that is correct, but I'm saying like the hub worlds with the levels, because like that's how like Spyro is, that's how like
that's a really good point.
The first Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, is that same kind of system. It's a very typical like platformer collectathon thing where you have your hub world and then you have all of your levels in the hub world and then you move on to the next one once you complete those levels. Anyway, that's the setting. And now we'll go ahead and talk about the story. So Taz and She-Devil are hanging out romantically on Taz Island, which I love that phrase so much that Wikipedia used. That's where I get these plots from, of hanging out romantically.
So they was
wow.
I'm sorry, I just create things for you to edit out.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, they're hanging out romantically on Taz Island, but are suddenly captured by Yosemite Sam and held captive in Yosemite Zoo. Taz is kept in a large cage in the center of the zoo, while She-Devil is in a smaller cage in a truck. While Sam films an advertisement for the zoo on TV, Taz attempts to break out of his cage, and Sam has She-Devil moved to a safer area of the zoo. After Taz breaks out, Sam has his Taz catcher workers put up wanted posters and post a bounty to help catch Taz. Tweety Bird appears and agrees to help Taz in his journey to save She-Devil, giving him pointers on where the wanted posters Taz needs to destroy are found. After going through the zoo's safari, winter, and beach-themed attractions and destroying all of the wanted posters strewn throughout, Taz nearly escapes the zoo using a snowblower, a raft, and an escaped elephant found in those levels. However, Taz soon finds himself having to battle Gossamer in a game of elephant pong. And for anyone who does not know,
Who the hell is Gossamer?
Gossamer is the big red hairy guy.
Oh, elephant pong. It's the soccer.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. You know who Gossamer is, though, right?
No, I didn't know he had a name.
Oh, I thought you were asking for the audience because I did know he had a name.
No, I legitimately didn't know he had a name.
Oh, yeah, no, Gossamer is his name.
I
He's
thought
the
that
big
was like
red
a
guy.
boss battle I forgot about.
No, it's just the big red guy.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he's cool. Anyway, when Taz wins, Sam retreats and moves the She-Devil again. Taz chases after them, reaching the town of San Francisco. All right, I'll edit in a laugh track there. After evading capture from Sam's workers again, Taz sees Sam advertising She-Devil as the prize on the game show Gladiatoons, prompting Taz to find a way into the show.
How about I laugh when you make a joke?
You read from here.
I like that laugh because it's a reference to Stewie, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
Stewie laughs like that, like sarcastically at people.
maybe that's where I started it, but I
That
honestly
might be
don't.
where
I've been
you
doing that
got
for
it.
years. It
I
probably
thought you,
is.
I thought you were just doing it as a clever reference to Family Guy while
mean-
also doing the same thing. So I was like, oh, genius.
I've been doing that for years.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, no, you can do the story here.
Right. So after causing chaos and destroying the wanted posters at the local museum, shopping mall, and construction site, Taz uses an unstable cement mixer from the site to launch himself into the Gladiatoons set. Taz then takes Wile E. Coyote's place in the main competition against the champion, Daffy Duck. Taz eventually emerges victorious against Daffy, but when Taz is placed on the winner's podium, Daffy throws a switch that causes the podium to trap Taz in a cage. After Daffy claims the bounty on Taz, Sam and his workers then take the captive devil and transport him by train to the Old West. Upon reaching the train station in the desert, Taz manages to break free yet again. He then sees Sam's blimp, lowering Sam and She-Devil into an explosives warehouse on an otherwise unreachable
Butte.
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 What the hell is a butte? You know, a teacher once told me you should never use words in a presentation that you don't know.
Well, I didn't. I just copy and pasted it, Noah.
I know, I'm just giving you a hard time.
An
Explosives
big
warehouse.
rock.
Okay. An explosives warehouse on an otherwise unreachable platform.
That works.
Taz goes on to destroy the wanted posters throughout a local canyon town, a haunted theme park locale, and a large underground strip mine, eventually gaining access to a minecart in the process. Taz then rides that minecart and launches himself into the factory where he confronts Sam. Sam uses dynamite in an attempt to blow up Taz, but ends up causing the warehouse to explode in the process. Sam uses this to escape in his blimp with She-Devil, but the explosion has such a force that it hurls Taz into outer space and eventually back on his island, where Sam is trying to build a theme park over it.
So Taz catches up to Sam, where he is attempting to destroy the entire island by detonating a large amount of explosives in a volcano. Taz defeats Sam, causing him to fall into the lava. However, Sam manages to save himself thanks to a hidden jetpack and escapes. As Taz and She-Devil are raised into Sam's blimp, which is en route back to Yosemite Zoo, Tweety suddenly appears, operating a large mech, much to Taz's confusion. Tweety reveals that it was his idea to construct the Tazland Amazement Park all along, and battles Taz throughout the blimp. The battle eventually culminates with Taz opening the blimp's rear cargo door and yelling with such audible force that it pushes Tweety out of the blimp, defeating him. She-Devil then appears, having broken out on her own, and shares a brief kissing session with Taz. She-Devil then tries to pilot the blimp from the cockpit to take them home, but Taz accidentally destroys the control panel when he bursts in, causing the craft to crash on the island. She-Devil then hands Taz a broom to clean up, much to Taz's annoyance. And end scene. I just want to say, top 10 betrayals of all time. Tweety and Taz Wanted.
I know. I was gonna say, top 10 anime betrayals. That's funny. That meme. No, I was gonna say that the plot of this game is not Oscar worthy, obviously. I think it's pretty good as far as games at this time were. Any bit of story was, a step above most of the games at the time.
I mean, I think having a story evolve around the Tasmanian Devil, it's about as good as you could probably do.
Absolutely. I mean, I want a reboot of this game. I want a PS5 2021 version of Taz Wanted.
Yeah, I'm sure Warner Brothers is getting right on that.
At least hopefully he'll be in Warner Brothers Multiverses. Yeah, so the plot is not amazing, but you're right. I was gonna mention the betrayal of Tweety, and Tweety being the last boss in the game was such a surprise to us. Like, we thought the game was over when we beat Sam, and Tweety was actually so hard that we never beat him the first time we played it. It wasn't until I played it later that I actually finished the game.
Yeah, you're correct. I remember we're stuck on that boss fight for hours before we gave up and then never played the game again for years and years.
That's how it goes sometimes, gamer block.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real thing.
I
But
just made it up, actually. I want credit for that term.
oh, okay, gamer block.
That's copywritten.
Okay.
Trademark.
You don't say it or we'll sue you. Anyway, you want to talk about the gameplay, Noah?
All right. So, Taz Wanted is an action platformer with a small amount of puzzle solving. Gameplay consists of searching each level for 7 wanted posters and destroying them in specific ways, and then finding the exit to the level. Completing each of the 3 levels allows Taz to access the boss of the world, and after beating the boss, Taz unlocks the next world. Rinse and repeat. So, in this game, you have basic running and jumping, as well as the trademark Taz spin. It's like a button you hold down, circle or B or whatever on the other systems.
Is it circle or square?
It was circle, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Because one was to spin and one was to eat. Anyway.
You're right. I think circle was spin.
The trademark Taz spin. So, it's actually extremely hard to control and kind of useless, except for the moments when you are destroying specific things.
Yeah, like I never use this unless I had to, because it's like you cannot control yourself for shit when you're using it.
I used it constantly, but constantly died or got caught because of it.
Yes.
So basically what the spin is Taz spins around really fast, and then he's in that spinning state, and you can move the player model around.
Yeah, it's like if you see any of the old classic cartoons, like that's his primary mode of transportation. Exactly. And it is by far his fastest. But like he's like, you go way faster than you would do just normal running. But it is so like sensitive on the controls of like turning left and right, and so finicky that unless there is a moment in the game where I am required to use it, I honestly would not recommend it for like normal travel.
So anyway, while working through each level, destroying wanted posters and doing other activities builds up your score in the form of a bounty. So it's cash money prize at the top of the screen throughout the level. And as you destroy more stuff, it just goes up. And most of the things on the levels are destructible.
Yep.
And, it's an old game, so it's all the interactive objects are animated differently than the background objects, so it's pretty easy to tell what is destructible and isn't.
Sometimes there are some that really will fool you.
Anywho, so also as you're going through the levels, you will have obstacles, and these obstacles come in the face of the Taz catchers. They are basically like
zookeepers.
Yeah, they're basically like zookeepers. They're in like blue coveralls. and they have a gigantic net that they swing over Taz, and they are pretty accurate with that thing. I mean, like, you can try to be in the Taz mode and zoom by one, but he'll catch you
Yeah, 9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10. Yeah,
There's also, I realized that I didn't put these here, the whack in the box, which are these blue boxes with eyes that when you approach them, they punch you in the face and knock you back.
that's right. So to deal with those, there's a like a button somewhere nearby them, and you have to Taz spin on it, and it starts a timer, and they go to sleep, and you can either get past them or destroy them.
Yeah, I would recommend destroying them.
Right, obviously. So if the Taz catchers catch you, you're placed in a cage, and you take a penalty to your score. So the money at the top of the screen just goes down.
Yeah, I
And
think it's like $500 every time, but I can't remember if in later levels it goes up.
right. So Taz has to spin. He also has a button to bite, and he can eat and swallow things.
Oh, and
It
spit
doesn't
them.
and spit them, right? But it doesn't really work. It doesn't work against enemies, and the spin doesn't work against most enemies.
You can like hit zookeepers with the spin and with spitting stuff, but it only temporarily knocks them unconscious.
Right, it doesn't take them from the level.
Correct.
But there is a way to get rid of the Taz catchers, and that is by using the red phone booths located in each level. And these are like the most fun twist of the game to me. Was these phone booths. Each level has a different one where Taz jumps in, and after an animation where the phone booth, jostles around, he hops back out, and he's in like a different outfit or costume, and that gives him a unique attack that permanently knocks down the Taz catchers. So, for example, like on the snow level, Taz is dressed as a snowboarder, and he uses his snowboard to hit a snowball like a baseball at the Taz catchers.
Yeah, there are a few that I can remember. Let me pull up the levels. So in Zoonie Tunes, he's a skater dude. He's a skater boy.
See you later, boy.
Yeah. In the Samsonian Museum, he is a ninja. Like you said, in Iceberg, he's a snowboarder. In Looningdale's, the shopping mall, he is a DJ. In Granny Canyon, he's like a cowboy. And then in Taz Haunted, he's like a werewolf kind of creature. And those are the ones.
The part to talk about Taz Haunted?
What about Taz Haunted?
Is that coming up to talk about it being the best level?
Oh, no, that'll be
okay
in our favorite levels question. No, I say we could talk about the levels in general, I guess, maybe particularly memorable ones. Although, I mean, like you said, I remember all of them so well. This is one of those games where I can clearly in my head picture every level. I can picture like going on the different paths to destroying the different wanted posters.
I mean, it was just so well designed because they're really like tight knit and dense maps, but they're designed in a way that make them feel open.
Yes, and the puzzle solving aspect of this game really comes from destroying the wanted posters, because posters is a very loosely used term, because like you'll have like a wanted poster that's a cork in a log, a hollow log. You have like a water tower. You have a design on a floor, just a bunch of different random things that just have this wanted poster design on it.
I actually really like the different items they put the posters on.
No, it's cool. Like I said, that's
ways they're destroyed.
Yeah, that's like the puzzle solving aspect. It's very fun, very fun to figure out. Anyway, so yeah, that's the basics of the game. So then, kind of additional gameplay mechanics. There are power-ups. I honestly had no idea where to put these, so I just put them here. But there are a few power-ups in the game. There's an invisibility potion, so you can become invisible. You can sneak past Taz catchers. You can get past the whack in a box without needing like to make them fall asleep. That's a useful one. There's the super burp soda can, where Taz releases a powerful burp that it's basically like a screen nuke. If you're talking about like old platformers where like not the entire screen, but everything in a radius of you just gets destroyed. There's the super hiccups soda can, where Taz can jump higher than usual with these hiccups, but they're random, so you kind of have to deal with that.
I like that though. Like, it was really hard.
Oh yeah, no, it's
sometimes to deal
yeah,
with those.
yeah. Sometimes you really hop when you don't want to. It's a cool one. There's the spicy jalapeno pepper, which allows you to release a breath of fire. Destroys objects, and then dynamite. It's the only harmful power up. Basically, Taz eats it. He's a little like woozy for a second, and any other power ups he might have active at that point disappear, go away.
I didn't know that. I thought there was no reason for eating dynamite except for the fact that it's just the animation of it exploding in his stomach.
No, it does cancel out any power ups you have. Also, it's not listed here, so I don't know where it'd be, but there's also bubble gum that you can use to glide by blowing a bubble.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the power-ups. Literally, I had no idea where else I could put them in this thing. I didn't even know if we would want to talk about them, but yeah, there they are. So then I feel like just talk about kind of the levels in general, because like I said, it's sort of like a collectathon, but each level has the 7 wanted posters that you have to destroy. Then there are 100 sandwiches that you find and eat and collect, 100 in each level. And all of these, like doing all of these things adds to your bounty. Getting all the sandwiches. There is a golden Sam statue, a little golden statue of Yosemite Sam's face. There's one hidden in each level. Some of them can be very tricky to find.
Yeah, we had a hard time with that actually.
Yeah, like I know last time I played through this game, which was maybe like a year ago, I wanted to 100% every level, and I had to look up like a few of these Golden Sam statues because they are very well hidden, some of them.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then, like you said, Noah, there are destructible objects in each level, and you have to destroy 50% of them, which is actually very easy. I feel like it should have been a higher number, because you could really get this without trying, in like some levels, just because there's like if you're just like spinning to travel or just biting stuff, like they're very easy to get. Yeah, that's what every level is. Those are your tasks in every level.
But every level feels different.
Oh no, I mean they feel different. It's just that's like those are your collectibles in this game, so to speak. So then you have like the mini games slash bonus levels. So collecting 100 sandwiches in a level unlocks a mini game in that level theme. So there are a total of 9 mini games for the first 9 levels. There are 3 types of mini games. You can race around. You might have to race around a level as Taz, which is one of the few times in the game you actually do just have to spin because you do not run fast enough that you can beat a race as just running. Then there's racing around a level in a vehicle, air quotes around the word vehicle, because these vehicles are not typical. There's a floor buffer, a shopping cart, and a jet bike. Those are, I think, the 3 vehicles you end up using. And then destroy X number of boxes in 60 seconds. It's different, different numbers each time.
I didn't know about any of that.
Yeah, like I said, when I did my 100% run, I did that. We had never done it before. Anyway,
What the
so
hell is a jet bike?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like I don't remember that. Like I remember the floor buffer and the shopping cart very well, but I cannot remember the jet bike when I was playing. Anyway, so why do you do all this stuff, Noah? You do it to unlock the art gallery. So basically there are like 10 different packs, books of concept art, character art, all that stuff. You unlock them as you build up your bounty. The max, like to unlock number 10, you need $2,785,000 as your bounty. It's not I wouldn't say it's too difficult to get. The only thing that kind of sucks about it is getting captured loses you money, but there isn't really a way to get that money back. So it is absolutely possible that you can get captured enough times that you just can't unlock all of the art, which I think is kind of
That's
stupid.
unfortunate.
Yeah. Like you would basically have to start a new game at that point if you get captured enough times. And as I put here, that's a typical PS2 era award to me. Like, that's not really something that they do in games nowadays, concept art and stuff. But in PS1, PS2 games, it was very common because that's at the time, the only way you could actually see that art and stuff. It wasn't like You know, people were posting the art on Twitter or coming out with like collector's editions that had art books and stuff. You know, it was very actually it was actually kind of like a cool thing for a game to do back in the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say my 2 cents on concept art is I have like when I think about it, I've probably actually like looked at the concept art on a game like less than 3 times, but I still appreciate that it's added.
Yeah, I get you.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think in like especially I think as achievements have become a popular thing. Um Awards, like in-game rewards for doing things are not as commonplace as they were. So like you can have a game nowadays that 100%ing the game doesn't get you anything except an achievement. Like an example of that is like Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4. You can 100% the game and you get an achievement for like a trophy, but other than that, there's not really anything in game you get. Like you don't unlock a costume for it, I think. You don't get anything specifically for doing it other than just the satisfaction of doing it. And then like a trophy. But back in like the PS2, PS1, even like Nintendo 64 era of games, that is not like you had to have something like that to give players a reason to 100% your game.
Right, I would tie that to a series you can actually see that change in is Assassin's Creed. The old Assassin's Creed games, if you 100% of them, you would get actually really cool things in game like old Assassins outfits. And now you can just get that stuff in game for, doing menial things or by paying for it if it's the last 3 Assassin's Creeds. So yeah, I mean, like that has definitely changed over the years.
I think it's like you said, I always like when they have more in-game rewards. It's I mean, even like if you look at the Spyro Reignited trilogy, you know, there are like skill points in that which you don't get trophies for doing those, but you unlock concept art. And um I'm pretty sure the skill points were in the original trilogy. I honestly can't verify that having never played them. But yeah, like they're there and yeah, it was still something like I actually really enjoyed my girlfriend and I played through the Spyro trilogy um not that long ago. I like just a few months ago at most and we did all the skill points and it was cool just looking at the concept art. Like, it's cool to just take a few minutes and just flip through it. You know, it's not something that takes a long time to do.
I'm coughing so hard my back hurts.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's something else.
you want to talk about the multiplayer?
All right. All right, so the multiplayer has there wow, let's talk about that first of all. Back in the day, they said, "You know what? It's not enough. Add more." You know, they were like, "This isn't worth their money. We need to put more in this game." And I love that attitude. Games and the PS2, like check it out. They were packed full of content. I mean, some of the biggest games you'll ever play. But the fact that there's there is an online function, by the way, if you didn't know that, but it
In
wasn't used
Taz
very
Wanted?
much. Yep,
Huh.
on PS2 in general, but yeah, in Taz Wanted.
Oh, in
Um,
PS2, yeah, I knew that.
right. But so these multiplayer modes are there's 4 of them. There's Destruction, Vehicle Rage, Time Trial, and
Vehicle
Tournament.
Race.
Oh, my bad. I'm dyslexic. Destruction, Vehicle Race, Time Trial, and Tournament. So in Destruction, each player will eat and tear through everything they can, and whoever consumes more wins. In Vehicle Race, you go 3 laps on a shopping cart, floor polisher, or jet bike. And obviously whoever's first wins that. Then there's the time trial, which you spin your way through 3 areas before the timer runs out. And then the tournament. You select any combination of the 3 games to play together. And it's a tournament. So beating each of the 3 bosses in the main game unlocks those game modes for versus as well. So those boss fights that were in the main game are translated into versus multiplayer game modes. So that's the Elephant Pong versus Gossamer, Gladiatoons versus Daffy and Dodge City.
And
Is
we
that
we played
same?
yeah.
Okay.
And we played a lot of Elephant Pong back in the day.
Yeah, I actually we didn't like Gladiatoons as much, and I like the boss fight itself. It was awful.
No, we were stuck. Didn't we? I'm pretty sure we were stuck on that boss fight for so long. Didn't we need Mom to do it?
No,
Okay, that was a different game.
no, that was like that was back on the GameCube. Was more when Mom was helping us with stuff
Right.
because she was
Yeah.
helping us with like, but back then, the button mash requirements were crazy and
Yeah.
the stick twirling.
Yeah, I remember we needed her to do the Budokai stick twirl for charging up energy as Piccolo.
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're holding Raditz in place as Goku.
No, there's two versions of it. One you're holding Raditz in place as Goku. The other one you're charging as Piccolo. I think we needed her for the Piccolo one because the Raditz one is more about timing and getting him in the right spot. The Piccolo one, you have to do it fast.
Right. So the Gladiatoons is one of the hardest boss fights like I could name. Um Taz and Daffy are in spheres and it's like a pinball looking arena. And you're rolling around and you roll over these markers and they turn your color. And if Daffy rolls over them, they turn his color. So there's a time limit and it's whoever has the most by the end of the time limit.
Which I will say a lot harder when we were kids. When I played through the game like a year ago, I think like I shut him out. It was not as hard as I did not have as difficult a time with it.
I feel like I had the same experience. There was like an optimal path
There
to
is a
hit like
very optimal
7.
path, yeah. Anyway,
Is Dodge City, isn't that just translate to Bomberman?
yeah, it's basically Bomberman, but only one of you is throwing bombs. Like one of you is throwing bombs trying to blow the other one up, and then the other one is trying to get to a certain point that when a bomb is thrown at, it damages the person throwing the bombs, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I mean the one we played the most by far was Elephant Pong. It's the most fun, and like the elephant goes faster and faster as you go, and man, that thing goes fast.
Yeah, it's definitely the easiest, I think. Like it's nice because the nets are really big, but your characters move really fast also.
Yeah. Anyway, that's versus mode. It's there.
Is that Taz Wanted?
That is almost as wanted. Now we have our questions, Noah. This is where you can talk favorite level.
My favorite level is Taz Haunted. I know you say it here, but I'm gonna take it from you because it's the best level in this game by far. All the other levels are still amazing. Like I said, I love them all individually, but this one stands high above the rest. And for no reason other than the fact that it has an amazing soundtrack.
It does have a
The
really good soundtrack.
the music on this level is so good, like you don't want to finish the level. Taz has great music in almost every level, but this one is the best track in my opinion. I also like the spooky haunted vibe, and I wish they did more out there things like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's the only like supernaturally kind of one. All the rest are just kind of very basic locations, you could say.
They're just places.
Yeah. So mine, I put Taz Haunted, of course, and then also I really love Looningdale's, which is the shopping mall. Yeah, I love the location. I love the like outfit for that one, which is like the DJ one, and yeah, it's so fun because there are all the different stores that you can go into. There's like a sports store, an electronics store. Like it's a very varied location because of the fact that it is a shopping mall. And I love it.
I agree. That's a great one. Each store feels like a unique location.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like the grocery is huge,
Yep.
and then the toy store is huge.
Yeah.
It's just a huge map.
It is a very, very good map. Favorite boss battle? I think that's obvious. It's Gossamer.
Mine is actually Tweety because
Oh, that's fair. That is fair.
it was the definition of the boss battle. Like we literally could not beat it.
Yeah.
And it was Tweety.
Yeah. It was years later when we finally managed to beat it. Okay, yeah, no, I like that. What we didn't like about the game. I'll just go first with this one. I technically have three things. One, the PS2 era platforming can be a little wonky sometimes. I say PS2 era just because I feel like there are a lot of old games like this where the physics aren't exactly, perfect. So you can kind of abuse it sometimes in your favor, but then sometimes it also gets abused not in your favor. Like I'm pretty sure I had the exact same comment about Psychonauts when we talked about Psychonauts. It's just that era. There are just some things like in platformers that are always kind of wonky like that sometimes.
Yeah, but at least in Psychonauts, you had another form of mobility.
Well, that is correct. Yes.
I was gonna say, I want to chime in here because this is actually mine. This is
Uh-huh.
my only complaint with the game. Just the fact that the controls are wonky. I think if it was remade, it would be a perfect game to me. Because it's like Jaden said, a lot of times there'd be issues with platforming, jumping to certain things or in like water or something, or on logs that move while you're in water, and things you have to balance on. It's just crazy. There's a lot.
Mm-hmm. And also, you kind of said it earlier. I think the Taz catchers catch you too easily. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I think like they catch you way too easily. That to me, it's weird that it's like, oh, I'm the Tasmanian Devil, and these guys are like swiping me almost like on reflex as I'm spinning by.
I know that it's like it's funny, it's ridiculous how good they are.
Yeah.
But I actually am going to play devil's advocate here because I like the Taz catchers. I like how difficult they are. I think it forces you to slow down and think about the path, and it also, like the whack in the boxes, they force you to use the other mechanics in the game, so you have to use the phone booths.
I suppose so.
I mean, if they weren't that difficult, why would you ever use a phone booth?
I mean, that's correct. I'm not saying make them easy, just like to tone it down just a bit. Like I said, they catch you 9 out of 10 times you try to speed by, just like 8 out of 10. Just make it 8 out of 10. That'd be fine.
Make them a little stupid.
I mean, I don't know. And then my third thing has absolutely nothing to do with the game at all. Just my copy of the game is slightly broken, and it freezes when trying to load Looningdales. And the only fix is to just keep trying it, and eventually it works.
I am dying, Jade. I forgot because I borrowed it from you, and I'm the one who I was playing through it again, and I got to that level, and I was like, I tried it like 20 times. I think one day it just randomly worked.
That's what because you had borrowed it from me and played it, and then I had played it previously, but it worked. And then when I was playing through it again a year ago, I got there and it wouldn't load. And I was talking to you about playing through it. I'm like, yeah, but this level doesn't work. And you were like, oh, is it the mall level? And I was like, yeah. And you were like, yeah, you just keep trying. It'll work eventually. So literally literally once a day, I would get on that game. I would try it like 5 times and then, be done for the day. And eventually it just worked.
That's so funny.
But like I swear I'm gonna buy another copy of the game just because I don't want that to happen next time I play through it. And yeah, also one of the mini games does not work as well in that same way, although I never got that one to work. And because it was just a mini game, I didn't put that much effort into it anyway. I believe it was the Bank of Samerica mini game that didn't work. I think it was that one.
That's weird.
Yeah, but it was the same thing. It would like start loading, and then like the music would start repeating the same 2-second loop. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I was so upset when it froze because I'm like, I can't, like, you have to get in. I have to get in here. It's literally the last thing I have to do.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I said, not really a complaint on the game, just the complaint on my specific copy of the game. And I've tried I'm pretty sure I bought like disc cleaners specifically for that game, try to get it to work. Yeah, like I was doing a lot trying to get that to work because I was just really upset about it not working. But then, like you said, I kept trying it. Eventually, it worked. Whatever. Moving on. Uh, replayability. Oh yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
I
Like
mean,
I,
this is one of the few games like I could finish and restart.
yeah. Like I mean, I like it helps that it's a short game. Like the fact that I know what I have to do in every world and every level. I can beat this game in maybe like less than 10 hours playtime. So, I would say it's about like maybe 6 hours at most. It's a great game to like pick up over a 3 day period. Day one, beat the first world. Day two, beat the second world. Day three, beat the rest of the game. Very
Yeah,
fun.
I completely agree with that.
Noah, final review on Taz Wanted.
It's a fantastic game in general, and it's definitely the best Looney Tunes game. There are other good ones. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Looney Tunes fan. I've played quite a few of them, but Taz Wanted is by far the best. And
Yeah,
if you're a
we
gamer and a Looney Tunes fan, you should definitely play it.
that is true. We've played our fair share of Looney Tunes games. That is definitely one of the better ones. All right. No, you picked the games. You introduced the bit.
All right, so now we're gonna go to the indie bit, the bit where we talk about indie games.
Yay!
Today, we're talking about Shovel Knight. So, for those of you unfamiliar with Shovel Knight is an action adventure platformer. Uh, I really don't know who it's made by. Do you know who made it?
It's like Yacht Party, I think. Yacht
Yeah, I
Party
don't know.
games or
It's
Yacht
yeah.
Club games.
We should really be shouting out the developers for indie bits, right?
Yeah, we should. It's Yacht Party or Yacht Club. I know it's Yacht something. Talk about it.
Okay. So this is your basic 2D side scroller. All right, and in this game you play as Shovel Knight, a knight who uses a shovel as his weapon. His quest is I didn't actually pay attention to the story. Skip through it all. If you want to mention anything about the story. All right, so it's developed by Yacht Club Games.
Yes, it is Yacht Club Games. Yeah, no, the story basically like long time ago, Shovel Knight and Shield Knight were the two biggest heroes in the realms. They basically went to the Tower of Fate where something happened. Shovel Knight awoke, Shield Knight had disappeared, dead, gone. So Shovel Knight basically went into seclusion. While he was in seclusion, this evil enchantress pops up. She created the Order of No Quarter, 8 evil knights, and they took over the world. And then Shovel Knight is coming back to rescue, save the world.
Yeah, I got most of that. So the game is done in a level by level basis. There are regular levels which have you're basically going through different sections, avoiding obstacles and jumping through platforms and killing enemies until you get to the end and fight one of the bosses, which is the evil knights. There's 9 of them,
8,
8 of them, counting the Black Knight.
9 counting the Black Knight.
9 of them. Okay. We count the Black Knight, he has his own individual level technically. So, like Jaden said, all these knights are evil and they all have very unique levels and designs and weapons and aesthetics about themselves, personalities. There's Tinker Knight, he uses machines. I can't think of a single other knight. Propeller Knight. He uses propellers and a rapier
Yes,
and
he's
lunges.
French.
I did not get that. I did not get any of the story. I skipped it all.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But I'll tell you what about this game. I played through nearly most of it. I got to the last level in the very last boss fight and died, and then I was okay with my progress and calling it a day. This game is surprisingly long. And it's very difficult if you don't use the mechanics in the game, such as the items, the magic items, and cups of ichor that you can find by speaking to characters in the world and going through some hoops. Anywho, On top of that, there's also characters who will be just on the map while you're looking at the levels, who are like traveling outside of the levels, and they're like their own separate boss fights. These are all pretty cool. None of them are knights. They're just an assortment of random people, but they're still really interesting boss fights. And if you're playing on the PlayStation version, you can even fight Kratos, and you get his armor, which as soon as I found out how to get it, I got it, and I used it for the rest of the game. It was so good. I really enjoyed this game, and I would suggest to anybody who likes this type of game, and to most people who don't, it's not that hard, and it's not that long either. Jaden, what do you think?
I really liked it. So to people who are, are retro gamers out there, this game is heavily inspired by the action platformers of the NES era, most notably Mega Man. To me, it takes a lot from Mega Man. Like, it has the 8 bosses, the eight Order of No Quarter versus the 8 Robot Masters in Mega Man. Each level is themed around that boss. In each level, you find a relic, is what they're called, the magic items that are also they're also specific to that level. Much like getting the Robot Master weapons in Mega Man, except they're kind of optional. You have to find them. You don't just get them for beating the boss. No, I love this game. I have I played it a lot. I am aiming to get all trophies in it. I have not done it yet. I'm working on the last 2 right now. And it's a really fun game. I love it. I love this type of game. Like, if you like, those Mega Man style games, you'll absolutely love it. No, I do have a funny story for you about this game. So I'm going through trying to get all the trophies. There is a trophy for beating the game without getting any of the relics, which includes the Icors. I did that. There's also a trophy for not spending any money, which means not only do you not get relics, but you can't even get any armor upgrades or anything like that.
That's crazy.
Initially, when the game first came out, how people would do that is just beating the game on New Game Plus. Hypothetically, if you bought everything in the first playthrough, then when you go through New Game Plus, you can't really buy anything anyway, so you just kind of get it by default.
Genius.
Well, Yacht Club Games patched that out.
I love their spirit.
Yes. So here's what I did. I was looking up kind of this trophy because I really didn't want to do it. Because I was like, that's stupid. Like, that's hard. I'm not going to be able to do that. And then I discovered that there is a disc version of Shovel Knight. And if you have the game in its first version before any patches, which you can do that with disc games because the patch has to be installed separately from the actual game because the game data is on the disc. You can play the base version and basically just, as one guy said, just replay the last level and you'll get it. So I bought the game on disc.
That's insane.
And had it delivered to my house. While doing that, while I was waiting for it, I played through and got the run for not using any relics because that one you have to do separately in this case. While doing that, I was like, you know what? I was kind of like upset with myself. I thought I was too rash. I absolutely could beat the game without spending any money. I think I think I'm good enough to do that. I shouldn't have bought the game, but I bought the game, so I'm not going to do it the real way now because I already spent the money. Game got here and my save wouldn't transfer over.
So you have to play through it on that disc?
Well, here's the thing. So Noah, when we bought Shovel Knight on PS4, we bought the digital version. It is Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, which is basically like a Game of the Year version of Shovel Knight. It comes with the base story. It comes with 3 DLC stories. That's the only version you can buy on the PS Store. So, like, there is no just Shovel Knight. You can't buy Shovel Knight, just the main story, and just have that. So I assumed that on PS4 it didn't exist. Well, the disc version is just Shovel Knight without the DLC. and they technically are separate games as far as the save files are concerned. So I couldn't transfer my save file over to the disc version of Shovel Knight.
Crazy.
Yeah. So then I basically was like, well, am I going to play through Shovel Knight twice, beating it on New Game Plus again to then get this trophy? Or am I just going to do it and then I still have to do the speedrun trophy on just the save on the treasure trove game I already have? Well, because I was worried about how trophies would work because they are technically different, I decided I'll just get the trophy the normal way on the treasure trove game I had.
I did think about that. If it counted it as different games, it might have different trophies.
Yeah, I don't think it does, but I didn't want to risk it. And also, it's even funnier if, so I initially put the disc in with my console not connected to the internet because I didn't want the update installed. Well, the update turns the Shovel Knight game on disc into Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. Like all the DLC people are there, everything's there, it's the exact same. But still, I couldn't transfer my save over. So to get my original save back, I had to eject the disc, delete the game, and then go to our library and re-download the game that way to get my save data back.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I'm annoyed I spent the money on it. It was $25, but then I'm also like, you know what? I'm proud to have this in my physical game collection because it is a really good game. So I'm, at the end of the day, okay with it, and I didn't buy it originally, so whatever.
I just think that's all hilarious.
Yeah. And like I said, I did kind of regret buying it because I could have done it without. I could have done it normally, which is what I'm doing anyway. I'm also trying to pair the don't spend any money achievement with the speedrun achievement, which so far is going well. The speedrun achievement, you have to beat the game in 90 minutes or less. I have beaten every night of the Order of No Quarter, and I'm at the Tower of Fate, the first level of the Tower of Fate, in an hour and 4 minutes.
God damn.
So I have 3 levels to do, and I have 26 minutes to do them. And the last level is only a boss fight. So hypothetically, I think that level will take me about 5 minutes to do. So if I can do the rest of the game, these last 2 levels, in about 20 minutes, I can do it. But because of the fact that I don't have relics, I don't know if I can do it that quickly. We will find out. In which case, if I can't, I'll just have to replay the game again for the speed run, but I can get relics and stuff, so it'll be a lot easier.
Right. Overall, good game. Next game.
Yeah, overall, it's a great game. I'm putting a lot of work into it. Yeah. Anyway, so the next game we will actually be talking about a tech demo known as Astro's Playroom. The reason we are talking about Astro's Playroom is because our next episode is going to be a special PlayStation 5 episode. Because we both have PlayStation 5s, and so we want to talk about the PlayStation 5 in general. And Astro's Playroom is a tech demo that comes pre-installed on every PlayStation 5 that I have already played and beaten in its entirety, 100%, got all the trophies. It is not long at all, so I think we can absolutely talk about that while we're talking about the PS5.
Right. Yeah, basically we're going to talk about what we like and don't like about the PS5.
Yeah, we're going to do kind of a semi-deep dive into the PlayStation 5. Anyway, yeah, that's next indie bit. I'm excited for next episode where we talk about the PS5. It's fun. Can't wait to talk about it. So yeah, don't forget, new episodes every other Monday. Rate and subscribe. Tell us if you like our show, or tell us if you don't, and tell us why. Tell your friends and enemies about the podcast. And you can follow our Instagram, the Super Gamer Bros, for updates on episodes, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Super Gamer Bros, every word capitalized, if you want. Yeah, we'll see you guys next game.
Bye. Autis.